First and foremost, all praises, glory, honor goes to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Salutation all Yakin, pushing this word day in and day out. Doing this quick lesson on air traffic controllers are becoming Uber drivers and restaurant servers on top of 6-day airport shifts to make ends meet during government shutdown. Yeah, because unemployment ain't enough, right? In most states, I know in Maryland for sure, you getting only like $441. No, DC, you get $441. I think Maryland is $414. So that's an easy number to remember, 144, right? And, certain other states where the cost of living is higher, maybe like California, New York, I'm sure it's higher. But you got certain states like in Virginia, it's just only like $390 or something. You know what I'm saying? You get my point. So on top of that, they got to get these what they deem to be minuscule part-time gig jobs and shit like that to make ends meet, And this is the president, this Edomite right here. You think his paychecks ain't being put on pause, man? Like the rest of, the workers under him? You don't think his paychecks? You don't think he's receiving his paychecks? He's damn sure getting paid during the shutdown because he's deemed essential. But you non-essential federal employees, y'all gotta pull out your 401k, take these all types of loans and grants, GoFundMe's and shit, just so you can have food on the table, man, for your family, all right? And we always warned you people, even you heathens, that this day was coming, man, all right? Where your job's gonna say, fuck you. Because that's basically what the federal government shutdown is. It's a big fuck you to the people. And I believe through the spirit, I believe it's a trial run to automate the federal government right now, man. Everything's becoming automated. All right. So it says, this is from Fortune magazine, dated yesterday, October the 20th, 2025. As the government shutdown enters its third weeks, air traffic controllers, I'll just say ATCs for short, are bracing for financial uncertainty, potentially weeks of work without a paycheck. Hey, right now we in this third week going on the fourth. Soon it's about to be months. Deemed essential workers, ATCs, are expected to work during the shutdown, which they should all walk off the job. I seen a post on Reddit saying they should all boycott. Was you gonna have boycotts and strikes and riots real soon? All right. So you got 20,000 of them, man, air traffic controllers, right? Which, they probably will strike. Let's say if this goes on till like December. You think they're gonna work for free for 2 months? That's 20% of their income. If I'm doing the math correctly, gone in a year. 20% can add up. Let's say if they average make about 150,000 a year. That's like 30,000. Just, you know what I'm saying? Out the door, man. You think Esau's gonna promise to pay them people back $30,000 each? So this shutdown can lead to what? No more flights. A collapse of the flight industry, travel industry, right? Because everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, government shutdown gotta end by Thanksgiving." No, it don't. Because that's the busiest travel time of the year. No, they don't, man. They already done made enough money off you people, man. You know what I'm saying? These CEOs, these big wigs, these tycoons and shit, they done make enough money, man. The last multiple lifetimes, man. They could come back. We know this place ain't gonna go on, but they could come back in a reincarnation to the same wealth they earned, in modern time, man. That's how much money they made, man. But, hey, the Lord's cutting that short, man. All right. I'm sure I'm gonna put this out here. I'm sure like 70 to 80% of government workers, right, federal government workers, done ran out of leave, man, already, man. And I think they, cause I remember when I was fucking with them as a contractor, I think they used to give you your leave um, at the end of the fiscal year, if I'm not mistaken. It's been like 2, 3 years, so I can't really remember off top. But if I stand correctly, I want to say they give you your leave September 30th on that October 1st paycheck, right? Somewhere around then, you get your leave check if you ain't burn it all up during the year. So that's gone. That's out the window in most cases. And then if they do have leave, I'm sure, 70 to 80% of them done burn through it, through summer. We just finished the in season months, the summer months between May to like September, May to late August. People going on family vacations and shit, taking a whole month off. I'm sure them people's like, damn, we shouldn't knew. They got buyer's remorse right now. Like, fuck, we shouldn't even took that trip. That would have been an extra like $5,000, in their pocket to suffice for this shutdown, man. Okay, but yeah, you got people working jobs they used to make fun of. Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, the gig economy, fucking waiting tables, being bartenders, being security guards and shit at nightclubs and shit. They got to do all that shit to make money. All right. And you look at this devil's face, they gave him this script. Nick Daniels, president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. They gave him his script because he's juiced in. So he knows, like, okay, yeah, he got a look on his face. Like, yeah, this shit's about to be dragged out. This, welcome to the shit show, So let me get some precepts, man. Salakia for ranting, man. But we live in beautiful times, man. I might as well get that at first, man. There be 9 things which I've judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, which in the kingdom we gonna have joy of our children. At this side, man, the mother be putting spirits on your children, so you really don't have true joy of your children, right? There's certain exceptions where your children are in order, but in this society everything's ass backwards, right? And plus, in this society also, you're constantly working, so you don't really have joy of your children, man. Your fucking school system has more joy of your children than the average Jake father, man, just to keep it a buck. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Yeah, and that's the times we living in now. We living to see the fall of our enemy, man. Especially you proud undesirables. You're not a part of, you're not an insider, but you're proud, man, that's a bad state to be in, man. So we seeing it from the bottom to the top, right? The bottom got to go down first. All right. These working class Edomites and 2/3, y'all the enemy, man. Even you wicked ass woman, you proud ass government worker woman, y'all the enemy. Y'all should have took the buyout, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, man. Trump offered y'all buyouts earlier this year. As soon as he got in office, that was one of the first things he did, man. He offered y'all a buyout, and a lot of y'all ain't taking it. And now look at the position you in. So right now we see the fall of our enemies, man. Y'all went to school for all these years. You done took all these jump shots. You done did all this. You did everything this devil wanted, and you still falling, man. All right. So, and the ultimate fall is going to be Esau's fall from the elites on down, man. Because at least the Lord's going to get y'all last. You luminaries, you lesser luminaries, you going to get y'all last, man. That's going to be for Yahweh Shai. But you everyday Edomites, you seeing more houses go up for sale and shit. because people ain't got it right now, man. And food's at all-time high. You know, if you're a Jake, man, you got to be out your mind. You know, whining and dining these whores like it's 2010 right now, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be out your mind. Because shit is like, food is way too expensive to be doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman, start complaining, oh, you ain't take me out to dinner in years and months. Just let her know, have you seen the price of food lately? And then that'll shut her ass up. In a day, this is Ecclesiastes 12. I'll start at the top. And one, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So you're supposed to come in this truth as a young man, not as an old 50, 60-year-old, 70-year-old beat up. You know, who wants to meet a, it's one thing you meet your woman when she's younger than she ages, but who wants to meet a woman she already in her 50s and 60s and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the same thing. Look how the Most High and Yahweh Shai, oh man, all right. Even Yahweh Shai, he did his ministry as a young man. He didn't do it as an old, with a cane and walker. Nah. So we're likened unto a woman, the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds, Jakes. Right? So, and you look at most of the brothers that's out here, starting with our apostles on down, hey, we all started as young men in this faith, in this walk, man. All right. We didn't have to, even though there's a certain exceptions to the rule, you got certain Jakes that may come in their late 50s or 60s. They might come in here older. But for the most part, the majority of us, we didn't have a lick of gray when we came in this thing, man. All right. And it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. And we're living in a time where it's about to be a famine of the word real soon, man. Something's going to happen. It's going to be a major event. That's going to lead to a restricted internet. You know what I'm saying? And it could happen any day now, man. The famine of the word at this rate. False flags, grid down scenarios, blackouts. Imagine a grid down scenario here in the wintertime, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, one time I was in Florida. It's probably like 10 years ago. I ain't gonna lie, I went to a little, what they call a titty bar or some shit, right? It was right by the airport. So I was like, I ain't want to miss the flight. So I was like, man, let me just kick it somewhere. And, the fucking, even the strip bar people, they was accommodating, man. They let me keep my luggage somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, man, I got a flight. I just want to come here, kick it for a little bit and then dip. So they was accommodating. They let me leave my luggage somewhere. Because I don't even think I checked my bags in at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I remember it was wintertime, right? So, but, in Florida, there's no winters, right? South Florida. So I had on my winter jacket on. And I remember when I went inside, it was a couple of Eves in there. And I was talking to one of them. And she looked at me. She probably said, I don't own a coat. You know what I'm saying? She said, I don't own a coat. Because she's bragging, like low-key bragging and shit. Because, she knows I'm going back up north somewhere in a frigid climate, right? Because this is like February, I want to say. And I said something back to her, and that was that. But, imagine this flight being in the winter, man. Blackouts, food shortages. This will be the perfect time of year because, this is where all the satanic pagan folly days occur, man. The major ones, man. All right. People, because why Esau worships darkness, like we in the darker times of year. In about another few weeks. Damn, that's crazy. Another few weeks, you're gonna have daylight savings. I just thought of that just now. To show you the Lord done shorten the days, man. A couple more camps. We gonna have to go to camp earlier and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we could catch some daylight. At least start off camp during daylight hours. Damn, a couple more weeks. It's gonna be dark at like 5 o'clock. Oh man, I dread that. I remember I used to like that back in the day when I was younger. Cause when it gets dark earlier, you go to sleep earlier. Your body like resets itself. But now I'm like, fuck. Cause I got a lot on my plate and it's about to get dark early. I got to do my work during the daytime hours, man. All right. Make my little chicken during the daytime hours. So, of course, you can adjust. I just have to wake up earlier instead of waking up at like 8, 9 o'clock. I just got to wake up like constantly like 6, 7 to get my shit done. But damn, daylight savings is around the corner. Sheesh. I show you the Lord done sped up time, man. I remember when it was daylight savings, when the days got longer back in March, April or some shit. That was in October, November. Shit's about to get dark early. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves. Yeah, these elites are about to tremble, man. These lesser illuminated, these gatekeepers and shit. Because they know they about to lose their little wealth, their little bag, their houses, their harlots. They about to lose all that shit. For these elites, about to lose their PDFs. They into that shit. And the strong men shall bow themselves. They're trans gentlemen. They about to lose all that shit. And the strong men shall bow themselves. Yeah, these military men about to get humbled greatly. Super soldiers. And the grinders cease because they are few. Yeah, it's going to be few work left, man. It's happening right now with this shutdown. And it's going to, it could, out of one Ratazar, trickle down to the private sector if it goes down to November. Because they say in November. You got warnings out now saying, hey, these food stamp benefits and shit, entitlement programs, the teats, they're going to be cut off, man. If they don't come to an agreement, man, which they dragging their feet. Little willing this shit, goes on till November. Because we quite frankly, I can speak for brothers, man, we sick of this shit. This shit should have been long gone, man. You trying to be here till 2029 and shit. Let's get this shit started now. I don't want Ratazar, man. The grinder sees because they are view, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, that future economic outlook forecast is looking ugly out here. It's looking grim. I met this. I mean, I know her. I ain't gonna say I met her, but I know this young girl at the job. Like she a little cutie pie. Down no northern tribe, 20 years old. I was just talking to her the other day while we were waiting on something, and I was like, yeah, just trying to just have convo with her. I asked her she's in college and shit. She's like, nah, she ain't in college. She just work. I was like, well, college ain't what it used to be anyway. She's like, man, I ain't got no money for that shit. Fox. Esau done fucked everything up, man. Going to college and 4 years of college now is probably average up to like 100K, man, a year. When I was going, I mean, that's one thing I could say that was cheap. I was like probably one of the last generations to experience a cheaper college. Like even going to the University of Maryland, because that's a big school. Back then, it was only like for 4 years, it's probably only like 60,000. Let's say 60 under 100,000 for sure. Now, hold on, let's see how much it is now. Okay, so it's not too bad. Saying the annual tuition is 12K. If you're a Maryland resident, and non-residents is 41K. So it's still not like, astronomical like it could be, man. But if you're out of state, ooh, that shit's gonna hit you. You might as well stay in state, wherever the fuck you are, unless you got a scholarship. And those that look out of windows be talking. Yeah. Hey man, it's shorty, she quiet, she reserved, keep to herself. She don't, you know, because there's a lot of Northern Tribe women at this little spot that I'll be at, right? And a lot of them cling together, but she don't be fucking with them bitches. She do her own thing, so I like that about her, you know. And them be the woman you want anyway. You don't want the woman that's all, you know, grouped up and shit, gossiping about you and other niggas and shit. Nah, you want the woman that's going, the outcast and shit. All right, the ones that's not accepted, right? And they all cute. I ain't gonna lie. Like 90% of Northern Tribe women there, they look good. But I notice I get along with the best, the ones that be to themselves, man. And the grinders sees because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, man. So it's looking ugly out here, man. I don't want no fucking kids. I don't want to bring no kids into this evil world. That's what I tell. When women ask, yeah, damn, you ain't got no kids. I'm like, I don't want to bring no kids. It's evil. Then that'll make them shut up quick. They can't say why or this, and that. Right? And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all of the daughters of music be brought low, man. Yeah, and this music is at an all-time low. You cut on the radio, you're going to hear like the Cardi B's and Sexy Reds and shit like that. You're going to hear women rappers more than male rappers, man. It's showing you that a woman done can pass the man. On the mainstream, you're going to hear, and I remember like it started becoming that way like after 2020. Because I remember like 2020, I want to say one or two. I'll say like 2022. I remember I did like a couple weeks doing security at this little strip establishment, this titty establishment. I remember all the music they played, like 95% of the music they played were like female rappers. And we in a truth, so we don't really be dibbling and dabbling with these people in the world going out like that in the midst of them and shit. So I was like, damn, this music doesn't change that quick, man. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Yeah, the doors are being shut now, man. It used to be a time where you get fired from the job, you find another one overnight. Or you quit a job, you get another one overnight. There used to be more job openings than fucking workers at one point here in America. Now it's the exact opposite. If I'm saying it correctly. I said, yeah, it used to be more job openings than workers. Now it's more workers than job openings. There ain't no really fucking jobs out here that's paying. Unless you gotta have the exact skill set or education they looking for to have a good paying job. They not doing that internship and we bring you on as a entry level, and then after a set amount of time we'll bump you up. All them days is over, man. And it says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right. So, terrors are coming upon you people on every side, man. You go out, people, celebrating Halloween and shit, witchcraft. All right. I know this other young Northern Tribe girl she showed me today. Of course you play along with them. I ain't gonna rebuke her and shit. She ain't my girl. It ain't my place to rebuke her. But she showed me a picture of her dressed as Freddy Krueger and stuff. So her and her sister, these people got spirits on them, man. They celebrate tradition, She a sweetheart, but she in darkness. She not in the light, man. That's how you just look at it, man. You can't take it personal. That's their business, their life. That's something she got to deal with her household or her boyfriend or husband. You know what I mean? Whoever she dealing with. 'Cause they ain't got that don't concern. When you're young in the faith, oh yeah, sister, you're Israelite. You from the tribe of Zebulon or Issachar. You ain't supposed to be doing that. You gotta let the wicked be wicked still, man. You know, and that's a crazy thing because Gen Z, they're gonna be the main ones. I mentioned these young girls, they like 20, these young women. But Gen Z, they're gonna be the main ones rioting, man, in these streets, man. When this revolution occurs, man, this insurrection occurs, man. This ain't gonna be my generation. My generation, they all old and washed. Even though I'm not, but they're old and washed, beat up. You know, they gonna bow down quick to the new world order. But Gen Z, Esau gonna have a problem with them, man. Gen Z, Gen Alpha. All right. These YNs, these little niggas with them weird ass haircuts and weird ass dyes in their hair. Oh yeah. This is second as is 15 and 49. I will send plagues upon thee. Widowhood. Yeah, so a lot of you women, you're gonna lose your boyfriend, husband, your side niggas. They're gonna lose all that shit, man. Cause the average woman in America got like at least 3 side niggas, man, on top of her boyfriend. Cause here it is, she got a boyfriend at home, but then she got a nigga at work. And then if she worked 2 jobs, that means she got 2 side niggas. She got the work husband at the full-time job and the work husband at the part-time job. And get my drift. The one at school, whatever class you take you. So the average, woman here in America got like 3 side niggas, man. Because this is a wicked and adulterous generation, man. But you're going to lose them, all of them, man. Because they're going to die in these wars, these plagues, man, that the Lord is bringing, man. The pestilence that's about to pop out. It's about to pop out, man. Poverty. Hey, man. It's even hitting us, man, So if it's hitting us, how much more y'all, man? And the men of the Lord eat, man. All right, we eat. We just not eating as lavishly as we once did, man. Like I'm gonna keep reiterating it, man. I've been eating more, which I don't really do peanut butter too much, but I've been doing like almond butter. These different butters, man, and jelly sandwiches, man. I did one last night, man. Like, fuck it. It's a Shabbat, so we really ain't supposed to cook anyway. Or heat our food. Of course, we all fall short of the glory. It's hard to keep the law, statutes, and commandments 100%. But, yeah, it's the Shabbat last night at sundown. The new moon, so I just fucking whipped up PB&J or almond butter and J. Threw it on a rice cake, had a smoothie, and that was my dinner. You know what I'm saying? But I've been doing that more often than usual, because food is expensive, man. You can't keep spending $30 a day on meals and shit. 20 a day on meals, that shit'll add up, man. Next thing you know, you spending $500 a month on fucking just one meal per day, man. The sword and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death, man. All right, so hey, the sword is out now. You see the National Guard out there, man. That's the difference between this shutdown and any other shutdown. This is the first shutdown where the National Guard is pretty much deployed all across Babylon. Because they're going to be the first line of defense of this new pestilence, this zombie apocalypse, This is the riots. They before they activate the FEMA troops, the UN, and all that shit. And gotta get through it. You niggas gotta fight the National Guard first, man. And these different police agencies. But the police, real soon, the police is gonna, in my opinion, they're gonna have to merge with the National Guard. And then the National Guard is gonna merge with the UN and shit. That's just how I see things happening. Ain't gonna be no more Poconos County police and shit. All that shit is out the window, man. You're gonna have to get suited and booted real soon, man, if you're part of that police shit. The sword and pestilence. Showing you that. Hey, this is like kind of like in order, man. Widowhood, you got a lot of niggas dying now, but real soon it's gonna be to 1,000, man. 1,000% more niggas gonna die. Poverty. Hey, ain't no work for Egypt, man, for real. You got people that's literally putting out like 500 resumes a day and don't get one call back. You know what I'm saying? That's poverty right there. You got 50-year-old niggas living home with moms and shit. Mom probably in her 70s, 80s and shit. These niggas like every bit of 55, 50, 55. Still living home with mom, man. That's poverty, man. But big mama. Famine. Hey, famine is right around the corner. It's really, we're in the light famine. But real soon it's gonna be an all-out famine, man. Cause the northern tribes that worked on the farms illegally, according to Esau, undocumented or whatever, they were the main ones picking these different GMO fruits and vegetables. Now they all out, man. They all getting grabbed up. So that's gonna lead to a famine, man. So we're, like I said, we're in the light famine. We're in the stage 1 part of the famine. The sword. Hey, the sword, the National Guards, these different Gurger troops, they about to get active. We saw them at camp a couple weeks ago. But they about to really get active out here. And pestilence. Hey, that pestilence is next, man. I don't want to to Zah, man. That's gonna bring a lot of widowhood as well too. Just niggas that took the yab 2020. It's just to keep a job, and your job telling you fuck. All right, let's just put it this way. A lot of people took the yab to keep their federal job, and now their federal job and said, nah, you on furlough. You on furlough for the next 1 to whatever months, however this long this gonna play out, man. Well, that shit never reopens, but it's all in the Most High's hands for real at this point, man. Which has always been in the Most High's hands, but this shutdown, the Most High done got this mapped out to a T. All right. To waste their houses with destruction and death, man. Yeah, man. And I remember it was a few years ago, Apostle Hall named it the year of destruction and death. Hey, it looks like it's getting ready to come to pass now, man. Because something big is on the horizon. Can't say what and when and how, but we know through prophecy. Shit's about to go down. We can't give you the exact details. Oh, it's going to play X, Y, and Z. We going to be living through it too, man. We going to have to witness, a lot of you people getting lobbed off, your heads You know, you're gonna have to witness this shit, man. Okay. Because in the kingdom, we gonna be talking about, the destruction of this place forever. So we here, as a witness, man. Even though no plague's gonna touch our dwelling, but hey, we gonna witness it hit you people that are outside of the fold dwelling, man. All right. This is 2 Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Hey, the federal government was a sown place for many, many years, man. Like, you get a job there, you set. You get good, decent money. You able to keep a roof over your head, take maybe a couple trips a year, have you a nice car. You know what I'm saying? That was a sown place, the federal government. At minimum you making 50 to 70,000 a year and shit. On the bottom end, that's just the bottom end. You doing good for yourself. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So, the Costco's, your big box stores, Sam's Club, Walmart's, Targets, they're gonna be empty very soon. Which they emptying out now. But real soon they're gonna be bone dry. Cause when the next major event happens, first thing people gonna do, they're gonna rush to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see riots at the grocery store, man. And you're just gonna have to call on your how about Shimmy outside to get, if you're in the grocery store around there, you're gonna get me the hell up out of here, Baba Kashal, y'all about Shimmy outside. Cause you're gonna be seeing a lot of shit go down, man. At these grocery stores, man. They showed you that in what's the movie with Tom Cruise? Forget the name of that shit. War of the Worlds. One of the movies, man, where the police was looting too. The police officer was looting right with the people, man. Because these police officers, they just trying to go home after their shift. They really don't want no smoke. Especially today's officers. It ain't like how it was when we were kids in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where you had actual patriotic police officers that really, I'll put my life on the line for this shit. You don't got officers like that no more. They just there for the benefits and to go home at the end of this shit. They're not willing to put their life on the line for this shit. That's why you got Trump, and Trump know that. That's why he done activated the National Guards, man. They saying, and they just, Esau's being a devil. Really, they activated all over Babylon, but he's being a devil, saying, oh yeah, DC this month, Memphis this month, Portland. He's making it seem like, okay, he's going at these liberal cities, but in all actuality, it's all these cities, they there, they just waiting on the call, man. They come out of their bunkers and fuck you people up, man. That the Lord ain't with, man. And it says the full storehouse shall suddenly be found. So that shows you it's gonna be quickly within minutes, hours. Not even days no more, just minutes, hours. They say I show you that whole 3 days worth of food. That's bullshit. Cause the truck come every day. One thing, if you're around a grocery store, you'll notice them trucks come every day. So they'll only take like a good hour at the most. Because it says suddenly, not within days. It says shall suddenly be found empty, man. All right. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be silent your freight, which we're sounding the trumpet now, but you're going to have actual trumpets from the heavens, man. Sounding off, man. Like War of the Worlds, man. That's going to make you people have shits. Your giggles going to turn into shits, man. You're going to piss and shit on yourself when you hear them trumpets. Because the angels going to, get that alarm too as well. Like, yeah, it's time, man. Jacob's trouble. But you're in, the early stages of Jacob's trouble, man. Like, fucking first quarter, pre-game warm-ups of Jacob's trouble, but real soon it's about to go live, man. All right. So the famine of the word could play out this year, man. I don't want Ratazah, man. An event happens, and especially when you got all these no king protests, that could be a ploy to, ban public gatherings and shit. And, we're definitely a gathering because scripture says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. So we're definitely a gathering. All right. I don't know how it's going to work out to where, brothers might have to do a quick solo thing. We'll see, man. About doing the work, we just got to go out on the solo or do sit down. We don't know how it's going to work out exactly, but the Lord got our best interest in heart, man. All right. At that time, this whole chapter's good. At that time, shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still in 3 hours. They shall not run. So we ain't gonna be out on the highways and hedges during this time. It's gonna be hunting season anyway. I was thinking of a precept, man. I go right with this, man. It says, friends shall fight against another like enemies. A man shall have no pity. 2 Ezra 15, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Let me look it up, man. Yeah, 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and great tribulation, man. Scripture goes into it, man. Men fighting against another like enemies. No pity. Sedition amongst men. This is all going down right now. This is we jump up to fucking Salakia 16. But there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They ain't gonna regard Trump, your governor, your senator, your mayor. It's gonna be too late, man. The fire's gonna be lit, man. You should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in power. They ain't gonna regard you gatekeepers, you celebrities. I remember 2020 when niggas was George Floyd riding, which another situation might have popped off like that. Could be with this Doug Martin NFL guy that got killed by the cops. We'll see in Oakland. We'll see, man. Because in 2020, here's my thought. This guy Tip T.I., rapper, actor, or whatever. He's like, come on, Atlanta. We can't be riding, man. We not like this. We better than this. We the basically say we the home of the boule. You can't be doing that shit, man. We got sellout niggas all over the world come here to visit and invest. We can't be doing that shit. We gotta keep Master's house safe, man. Whole house. All right. So, hey, man, this is getting ready to go down, man. Julie Brown. If you remember the 90s, everybody used to say that it's going down like Julie Brown, man. So, hey, we living in some beautiful times, man. This whole shutdown could open a can of worms, man. And I did a video. We in the age of chaos because it was in the Economist magazine. That's the age timeline we living in is chaos, man. Order, have chaos. All right, which the real order is going to be established through Yahweh Shai, man. That's what at least is right when they say order, have chaos. But they're not going to be the one to get the order. And so till next time.